And this last one, if you don't have this, you're toast. I'm sorry, but you're toast. Hello, today we're talking about 20 things that every prepared person should hoard. Yes, I use the word hoard. I know that's just cursing in the regular world against preppers, but these are things that you should be collecting on a regular basis to help you with your preps. Now, most of these are free or cheap, so we're just going to get started. Tarps. We're going to start with tarps first. My brother had hailstones come through his roof, huge hailstones. He was desperate to get something on his roof to keep the rain out one year. You never know when you're going to have a major catastrophe like that. Tarps are really good for, of course, covering your house, covering windows, doors if you need to, carrying things.
Yes.
You could drag it along the ground and carry things. You can, of course, cover things outside. Your firewood may need to be dried, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Tarps. Now, look for free tarps. At our old house where we used to live, there was a shipping company a few blocks from our church, and literally every week they had hundreds of free tarps just sitting out there.
And along the line of tarps a little bit is large chunks of plastic.
Yep.
I got a big, huge roll of plastic somebody was just getting rid of, and it was heavy, heavy-duty plastic.
Yep.
And that's really good because that you can use to cover windows, you know, to keep the heat, the cold air out and the heat in type of thing. And
you can cut pieces off and put it in your shoes to walk in the snow so your feet don't get, if you don't have plastic bags.
Especially the heavy-duty stuff.
All right, tarps and heavy plastic. Bleach. Using the term hoarding for bleach is an overstatement, I will admit. Bleach has a shelf life, and it's only about 6 months to a year. There's an expiration date on it. You can see what it is, but it is something that you really need to have on hand. Now, you can get bleach tablets, and those will last longer, but bleach will help disinfect when there is disease.
And more than hoarding it, you need to always make sure you have some on hand so that you're getting rid of it and getting some more and keep it on hand and fresh.
I would say every 3 to 6 months, get 1 to 2 new gallons of bleach.
It's
always,
really important to have that.
Even if you don't use it and it goes to waste, it's valuable enough that if you don't have it, you're going to be sorry.
Yeah.
Candles. Now, really, this is something you should hoard. Candles, I mean, here's the thing. You're not going to keep your house warm with candles. Despite what all the little terracotta pots, those aren't going to keep your house warm. But they will give you light, and in a really cold emergency situation, they will at least help keep your hands warm.
A small little area.
You can hold on to the glass, and that'll help warm your hands. Candles, garage sales, thrift stores, the Dollar Tree.
And when you think of candles, it doesn't just have to be the stick candles.
No.
It can be the scented candles too. You know, anything. You can buy a lot of those at thrift stores and garage sales, the scented ones. They may not smell great to you, but at least they'll be light and something.
The tall Catholic candles that they have at the Dollar Tree, those make really good emergency.
They have wedding candles they're getting rid of. You know, they didn't end up using that big wedding candle. Get those big fat ones. Those are really great too.
Anything for a candle. Newspapers.
Oh.
Now, we're not saying being like grandma and have an entire room of 30 years worth of newspapers.
Where you get crushed under and they can't find you for 20 years.
But newspapers are really good. If your power goes out and your freezer starts to defrost, you can wrap your frozen food in newspaper. It's a really good insulator. People used to line their walls and their floors with newspaper. Why? Because it was really good insulation. Well, not really good insulation, but it's some insulation. Better than nothing. Fire starter.
That's
super good for fire starter. You can put it in your clothes to keep you warm.
Yeah.
if you need to. Yeah, you won't be the quietest thing sneaking around, but it would keep you warm.
And if you're having to sleep on a cold floor or ground or something, you can stack it underneath your sleeping bag or whatever. And I don't take the newspaper, so it's kind of hard for me to get newspapers, but we have a little city newspaper.
Once a week.
Sometimes ads, for grocery stores. I take and save every single one of those because it's a little bit harder for me to get newspapers. So you can find them by that.
And we've already got it. We've just moved, got rid of all that stuff, and we've already got a nice little collection
I've got a
going.
stack about this tall just within a few months' time. So.
Along with that, egg cartons, cardboards, that type of thing. I save all my egg cartons for fire starters, my cardboard for fire starters. Now, I have an excess of cardboard because I am a book publisher. So we have cardboard coming out the wazoo. But save nice pieces of cardboard that you can use.
The boxes that they ship things to you in, save those. Appliance boxes, those are really good. Appliance boxes especially because like if you have a window breakout and you don't have a tarp or plastic, you could nail a cardboard up there. Something like that for heat, to keep the heat in or out.
Zip ties. Those can be used to fix almost anything. I mean, I think you could fix anything with a zip tie. But a zip tie is great because wires, you have to have wire cutters to cut the wire and pliers to twist the wire. But with zip ties, you can just pull it together with your hands and you've got it fixed. So I would have a nice little collection of zip ties also. Cords / strings. Remember Grandma's ball of string? She had it for purpose because it was useful.
And this doesn't have to cost you a lot of money because I'm a quilter, and anybody that sews, you have lots of salvages, those types of things. You can tear strips of sheets, and use that for rope and for string, but it is important to have the string like that. Even things like, I had a whole bunch of old yarn, that wasn't colors I could use. It wasn't good material. You can save some of that old yarn and make it into balls. I have never bought string. Never in my 50 years living on my own have I bought string. I just find it. If you have boxes, take the string off of boxes if they come.
If you do buy it, look at garage sales for old crochet string.
Oh,
that's really good.
Crochet thread, it's really good.
It's really thin, but it's heavy duty. Comes on a nice roll.
Warp for, again, sewers will know warp from looms. I've got big spools of that. So,
salt. Salt has way more uses than just for cooking. Now you really need it nutritionally. Salt with iodine is what you need. But medically, if you have a wound that's starting to get infected, you can soak it in salt water. And salt kills infection. I don't think a lot of people know this, but I'm allergic to Neosporin. So when I get an infection now, a lot of times I will just do warm water with some salt, and that will kill the infection and heal it really quickly for me.
It helps for sore throats, for gargling. Gargle salt water, and it helps if you start right away. It'll help. You can also put just a tiny bit of salt and water when you have a stopped up head. And sniff it up your nose, and that will help clear up a stopped up head.
That's what they use in nebulizers. Just a teensy tiny pinch.
Not much,
Next one is screws, bolts, nails. Now, Mom had to...
I was thinking about
Rest in peace.
I had to think about that yesterday when you told me we were doing this. I was still thinking about it.
This is a very traumatic story for Mom.
Yeah. I have this. Okay.
Had.
I have this shoe box, the plastic, the plastic shoe box size Tupperware container, whatever. Okay, I had that thing for 50 years, and I was thinking about this yesterday. It was kind of I never thought about this before, but I've had this same box that I've been adding nuts, screws, bolts, little hinges, little springs. I mean, any little tiny thing, nails, anything I find, little buckles, little stuff, go in that box. But what's so weird, I've had this box for 50 years. I keep adding to the box. And it stayed the same amount. Now, how did that work?
I don't know.
But
But
that shows you how much I use.
Yeah.
And if I needed some weird little metal thing to fix something, it was always in that box, wasn't it?
But when she moved, she had to get rid of the box.
I had to, my car, the day I was leaving, my son said, your springs, your shocks are gone. You've got to take everything out that you can. And that box was so precious. I only took the precious things in the car with me. I sent the other stuff with Mike and the boys, but that was in my precious stuff in the car, and I had to leave that box.
Yeah. So now she's starting her new collection. So send all of your extra screws, bolts, and nails to Mom. All right, next one is fishing line. This goes back to cording, but fishing line is super, super strong. Not only can you use it to actually fish, you can use it for tying up things, and it's a super strong string, but very lightweight to carry if you need to carry it.
Yeah.
Firewood kindling. You're going to say, well, Tara, I don't have a fireplace. I don't care. If you need to build a fire outside for cooking, sterilizing, whatever, you're going to need firewood and kindling. And so this is something that you need to go ahead and at least get you a little collection of firewood and kindling.
Yeah, and the cardboard and the egg cartons and things like that we talked about earlier, that goes kind of along with this because you can use that to start these fires too.
And we're not saying fill your garage with this stuff, guys.
Oh, no.
I mean, have 2 cardboard boxes filled with egg cartons, 2 cardboard boxes filled with newspapers, 2 cardboard boxes filled with firewood and kindling. You know, but at least get something.
Yeah, I have shelving out in my garage, and it's just, what is it, 4 feet wide, I guess, or so, and not very deep. And I have this shelf is for my newspapers and my extra envelopes and my cardboard, and it's right there. Once that shelf is full, then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how you can tell how much you should get, you know. Just do something like that.
Cotton balls for medicines. Save those little cotton balls for medicines. And then take your old wax melts that have lost their scent, but they're wax melts, melt them, dip the cotton balls in there, set them in your egg cartons, and you have nice little fire starters.
Yeah.
Super easy, free fire starters. Chocolate and candies.
What we need to say about cotton balls too is you can use them medically if you have to.
Yeah, if you need to, you could use it medically.
Different stuff, and things.
Chocolate and candies. Now,
yes.
Here's the thing. When things get really bad, it's going to be nice to have something that's a little fun, just to get your mind even ever so briefly off. So most people eat enough chocolate that they could rotate through every couple of years. Hard candies will last a super, super long time.
Oh, forever.
But get at least a little bit of hard candies and chocolates in your stash.
This is for emotional help, you know.
Mom knows.
Well, the hard candies, sucking on them, something about sucking on those candies help children to calm down in any type of a situation. You know, why do you think Grandma and Grandpa's always give their grandkids peppermints and candies like that, you know? So
next, containers.
Oh, you know, once again, I have my shelf that I have just for my containers, but I'm talking about glass jars. You can use glass jars for all kinds of different things, you know.
Well, you can make candles out of them. You can store food in them. You can store your dry food in them, not just like pickles and stuff, but you can store like your rice and your pasta in there to keep it away from the bugs and the mice.
Yeah, just because glass jars are better to keep the bugs and mice out than
you need to
plastic.
cook in them with boiling water or something like that.
Yeah, you can put boiling water in. So just all kinds of things. But also things like I save Cool Whip or, you know, whipped topping containers.
Yogurt, sour
cream containers, things like that. For if you have to start a garden, you can use those to start the seeds in, your plants in, besides all kinds of other things. If you have to dispose of nasty things, that would be something good to put the nasty stuff in, you know, dispose of and keep the smell and everything.
Rubber bands.
Oh, I did this the other day. Well, I've never bought a rubber band. Did you know that?
Wow.
I haven't. I've never bought a rubber band. You'd be surprised how many things come with a rubber band on them.
Broccoli.
Yeah. The thick ones, the skinny ones have a variety. But I even had, I got a pair of snow boots were on clearance the other day. And they had the tag. There was a little, like a stretchy little rubber piece of rope thing on that. And I was automatically going to cut it off, and everybody just throws that all away, right?
Yep.
I didn't. I thought, this is so cool. It was about this
long.
Have
a little collection in one of your jars.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good way to store your jars and containers, just keep this stuff in them, you know, and then you can use them. But anyway, I thought this would be good wrapping around, tying around things, and like you would use a big rubber band for stuff. And so I started saving those things.
Plastic bags?
Oh, keep your plastic bag. You're going to need a million plastic bags.
Nothing but plastic for pooping.
I was going to say, even though this is indelicate, you know, you're going to have to, if they used to have what they call chamber pots, which is a round pot for at night for people to go in. And you may have to use something like that. Well, you can line it with the plastic bags, which would help, you know, to do that. But plastic bags protect you if it's raining, just all kinds of stuff. You just need plastic bags for everything.
Styrofoam.
Styrofoam, people don't realize you can make a good refrigerator system. Like if you have dig a hole to put your food in to keep it cool, you can line it with styrofoam. It can keep the heat in or out. I mean, they have styrofoam coolers too, you know, where you can put hot things in to keep them warm and cold things in to keep them cold. So you get chunks of styrofoam in all those packages you're getting from Amazon, you know, and all that. Save those nice big chunks, because you can do them for a lot of things. And even like if you're going to grow stuff and you've got like a pot, only a pot that you can put it in, you can put the styrofoam in the bottom and then put the soil on top.
So much soil.
So you don't have to use so much soil and things like that.
And this last one, if you don't have this, you're toast. I'm sorry, but you're toast. Books and learning. You have to have a can-do attitude, and you have to have a determination that you're going to learn how to do this stuff. We are shocked by the number of people who just do not want to take the motivation themselves to learn these things. You know, we've been talking about doing gardening videos, and I've had person after person after person, and I know they're trying to encourage me, but they're like, oh, I don't know anything about gardening at all. Yes, do gardening videos. Guys, there are a billion gardening videos out there. A billion. Me adding more gardening videos isn't going to do anything. You could go ahead and start just learning how to garden. Start learning home remedies for first aid. Did you know that honey is antiseptic? Did you know that salt is antiseptic? Did you know what herbs help kill infection? All of those things. You've got the
internet now. When Tara gave me this list of stuff, I thought, fishing line, I don't really know how to fish. I think fishing wouldn't be too hard to figure out, I wouldn't think, but there might be things that I could learn that would make it easier. I thought I need to jump on YouTube and learn how to fish. I could probably find a 5 to 10 minute video to watch. I may not be an expert, but I'll have the general concept. But you need to have books on these things too, in case you don't have the internet. But not only books for learning stuff, you're going to find, we read a thing one time about what some people had gone through at a time when they didn't have power for a year and a half, something like that, for a long time in the city. And they said one of the biggest things that you don't think about is you become so bored. And so he said books were so important to have books to read. So if you've got a few books that you really like, keep a small box full of some of your favorite books to read, you know, and things like that.
Guys, tell me in the description, what are some things that you think would need to be learned in a prepping scenario? I mean, gardening's like an obvious one, but comment please and tell us, what don't you know that you could learn about prepping to get going? And to help you guys with that, please check out our Practical Stockpile e-cookbook in the description below. It's totally free, so you guys can get started with this. We made it free, so you guys would be able to just get going right away. Go watch our video on 10 things to buy before hyperinflation hits. Visit us at livingonadime.com, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.